that. So Morgan, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So can you tell everyone a little bit more about what you do in Fertility Defined?
Yeah, so I'm a fertility awareness educator, and basically, I have classes teaching women about fertility and the menstrual cycle. So I talk about how the menstrual cycle works. That's actually the foundation of my classes. So walking through exactly how the menstrual cycle works, ovulation, hormonal health, and identifying days that pregnancy is possible and days that pregnancy is not possible. And then also teaching about signs of hormonal balance and hormonal imbalance and what to do about those things holistically. So that is kind of the gist of what I do. So I work with people that are trying to get pregnant, but I also work with people that just want to have better menstrual cycles if they're having like lots of period pain, PMS, things like that, working on regulating things.
Very cool. And I feel like I've been seeing a rise in interest around this. I write for Clue. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I write for Clue. So I've been diving deep into the menstrual cycle and uncovering a lot of things that I didn't even know, which is super fascinating. And yeah, there's a lot of I wouldn't say misinformation, but I guess lack of information. People just don't quite know what goes into like menstrual tracking and all of that. So I could see your resources being like really supportive for people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So, can you tell me a little bit about your journey as a nurse to an entrepreneur and how you decided on your current business model and how you focused on supporting people in the fertility space?
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to most people in health coaching. I had my own personal experience that led me to this area. So I have endometriosis, and for those that don't know, it is a chronic inflammatory condition where cells similar to the uterine lining, but not the same, are found outside of the uterus, and it causes a wide range of symptoms. And for me, it caused a lot of digestive symptoms, a lot of pain, and a lot of symptoms showed up through my period. And it was actually through charting my cycle that helped me get diagnosed. So endometriosis takes 7 to 9 years on average to get diagnosed. And for me, it took a total of 15 years. But from the time I started charting my cycle, it helped me expedite things. So it took about 2 years to finally get diagnosed after charting my cycle and seeing that things were clearly off. So that is what gave me the first like idea that hey, maybe I can like teach other people this because it was really helpful in advocating for myself, and also it gave me this like objective data, which as nurses we know doctors really love that. And so it gave me something to really hold on to and advocate for myself when I was trying to get diagnosed. So I didn't actually have fertility issues in the realm that people would really think about. I wasn't trying to get pregnant, but fertility, and this is something I talk about in my business, fertility is more than just getting pregnant. It's about how the reproductive system works as a whole. And that is kind of why I chose to name my business Fertility Defined, because we're talking about what fertility actually means. And so it's all kind of encompassing. Um, so I started my business two, well, in 2022, it was like 3 years ago. And I've been a nurse for 10 years, and actually started in ICU, and women's health was not on my radar at all. I actually had a instructor in nursing school telling me like, Morgan, stay away from postpartum. You'd be way too bored. Women's health is not your thing. Actually is my thing. Just took me a while to get there. But the last, let's say, 6 years of nursing, I've been in women's health in some capacity, and most recently in public health as a maternal child health home visitor. And that's where I actually developed a lot more like one-on-one relationships with patients, did a lot of training in like motivational interviewing and a lot of coaching type of work. And yeah, in hindsight, I can see how that really helped me build the skills and the foundation for my business. But it was really a combination of my own experience with endometriosis and um, seeing the need and having a passion to teach this stuff, and then also like my physical needs. So I wasn't able to continue in my full-time nursing job with endometriosis. It was causing way too much pain and I needed something remote. So that kind of led me to building my own business.
You touched on quite a few things I want to bring back around. My journey also started with a painful health condition as well. I have migraines and they just beat me up.
Mm,
And something that is not great for migraines are those blinding white lights all the time. So,
hmm
yeah, I found that I didn't want to serve my job. I wanted my job to serve me and my health in a
hmm
way that was more beneficial. So, yeah, that's one of the ways I definitely transitioned into writing. I love that you brought up your name and why you decided on Fertility Defined. I am always so curious about people's like logo and colors and names because it's such a reflection of who we are, our business, and our audience that I just love when people share that part of themselves. So that's fun.
Yes.
Um, Interesting that someone said that they couldn't see you working in this space too.
Yeah, they really thought that like I would get bored saying like, "Oh, all you're gonna do is give like pain relieving medications and just do like education or whatever." But education is my favorite part.
I
And that was
love
something that
education.
kind of drew me away from ICU was there was not not always the time to or not always the right timing, wasn't always appropriate to give education. And yeah, that was something that I was really missing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that nurses are drawn to different things, whether it be education and that empathetic connection that you might not get with a higher acuity. And then some nurses love that higher acuity, which
Yes,
just
exactly.
shows like the range of our industry, which is really cool that everyone can have their own place in that.